What is?
Set for an ECU graduate.
That's
Thank you.
What is the best and worst part of performing as brothers? What was that? Got about 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes. Let's go 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
10 more minutes.
Yeah, 10
It's
minutes.
hard to stop.
Yeah. So, what is the best and worst part of performing as brothers? It's hard. We got a great thing, Scott and I. You know, so it's hard. Thank you. Yeah, we're very lucky. That's not so much our own doing. I think we've done a little bit to help that along, but we're real lucky in that regard. We're thankful to our parents for that. But we have a very good thing. It's hard to think of disadvantages. I mean, I look at bands that don't have brothers, and I wonder how they do it. You know, we're very lucky. Like we have this built-in trust that really informs everything we do, and it gives you a sense of safety and a very real and fundamental sense of reliability. On the worst part, like when I think about like the early days, and we are by no means arrived spiritually or emotionally, but we're further along, I think, than we were, 25 years ago. And when I think about those early days when we did have issues with each other, when we had like discord between us, one component a lot of time was alcohol. So you have alcohol involved. It's just more likely for things to go wrong. I think, like just as a basic, not to judge anyone, but like when we would get in arguments, a lot of times the next day it was like, if we had not had all that alcohol, would we have had the same argument or the same kind of argument? No. So that was a factor. So wrangling that in and getting that off the table was good. And then also just being younger and having more of a hunger and a need to be seen and to be acknowledged, and for someone to just say you exist. Like you have this thing where it's just like I got to do something so I existed, like so I'm seen, so I don't just disappear. That can be ravenous and can make you ugly. Can make you act in ugly ways. And when I think about the discord between us, it was when we weren't really embracing how we're different, because we are real different. We're really different in how we look at music, how we look at parts. Like it's one of the fun things is like sometimes when we're working on a part, if we are working on a part together, to find out how differently we naturally hear a solution. And it might be that like Scott just hears it to go 2 beats further, and that's just, to me, it's just like so upside down. And like within that is the beauty of that connection and the beauty of all of these connections. It's like, man, like if you can really appreciate how weird it is that person sees it that way, it's just awesome. Like, how can that sound right to you, But as a younger man, to me, that was tantamount to what you're hearing is wrong. The way you hear it is wrong. And if I embrace what you're hearing is wrong, it's going to be discord all day long, So there was a lot of that, not a lot of it, but there was more of it in the early days. So that was a disadvantage just because we care about each other so much. It wouldn't really be a disadvantage if you didn't care about the other person's opinion so much, but we care so much about each other, and we care so much about the art that we're making, that we would sort of hobble ourselves, or we would hurt ourselves by being sort of haphazardly selfish. But some of that has been, I think we have washed away. It's just like in a marriage, like when you work on yourself, like somehow the marriage gets better. You can't believe it, but if you work on yourself, the connections get better.
Yeah, and the regret when you can't break away from somebody and just say, okay, I'm out, I'm done with this person. You can't with family as much. It's not really all that natural to work. I mean, for some, it's not natural at all to work with their family and their brothers, sisters. It's just, in a lot of ways, it's not that natural. As you grow older, you part ways and you go into the world. But the regret for when you get reactive. So like if I get reactive and say something or do something, combating because I don't like the way Seth's doing it because it's different than the way I would do it. The regret for that is pretty strong. Like I can regret that. Like when I get hindsight, further away from it, I go, that really wasn't worth me reacting to. Granted, sometimes those reactions in performance caused for some sparks, which were probably entertaining, but at what cost? At what cost? I'm not so sure. I think it's one we always do really well if we communicate together before there's an audience, like an audience here, or even at sound checks or band practice. It's way better if the two of us are communicating about what we're like. How am I like if I say it should be this way, like it needs to be 2 bars, not 4. It doesn't make any sense to me. Well, somebody in the band might say, "Well, I agree with Seth," and then all of a sudden we got this thing started. And that, with brothers, they are well versed in that. Like they've been doing that since they were little, and they might be at their threshold for how long can I take this. So for us to protect it, it's good. It's really good when Seth and I, before we go to sound check or before we step on stage, that we're like locked in, like, hey, that one part, or hey, this, yes, I'm in. Even if one of us says, I really don't like it that way, but I want to try it. Like we're a lot more softened and tenderized by life at this point, where we can say, I don't have to own this night. This isn't my moment. Like, I'll tell you right now, like I've been with my family all week here for 3 days. So when I got on stage last night, my mode was take the beach party just to the stage as comfortably and naturally as possible. But I found it really difficult to make the transition from being dad onto stage. And so all I could do was hold on and perform. And anybody that's a connoisseur of our band would know that I don't bring the same thing every night at all. I bring wherever I am, and that might be you get what you get, and I have to trust that. And I have to trust that when it's not as entertaining, that you'll forgive me for it, and that next go round it'll be maybe a little more entertaining. That's the point of it. But it's kind of like a long pace. It's like a longer pace, which I'm glad the laundry room thing is a great point of it. It's really like it makes perfect sense, and we know these things. We know that. Like it's really great. But
Hey,
see, and it was true.
He wasn't wrong.